Nairobi police boss Adamson Bungei now says security has been beefed up at Kenyatta International Convention Center ahead of the Africa Climate Summit 2023 to be held from the 4th to the 6th of September 2023. Speaking at KICC Nairobi, Bungei says the venue has been secured by police officers. And as Timothy Kipnusu now reports, only delegates with relevant documents will be given access to the venue, which is now a red zone.
Just 2 days before the Africa Climate Summit kicks off, the government has heightened security at the venue. According to Nairobi Police Boss Adamson Bungei, a multi-agency approach in manning Kenyatta International Convention Center that will play host of the Africa Climate Summit 2023 has been put in place.
We have enough deployment to secure and to provide security to any of the persons that will be visiting Nairobi City. In that case, therefore, you are free to interact and do business within Nairobi because of security assurance.
Elsewhere, children and young advocates have affirmed their commitment to cause of climate action. This comes at a time when a group of African children held the first ever child-led global climate change summit as a preparatory event for the Africa Climate Summit.
Insist on robust climate finance. Amplify climate finance globally, ensuring that contributions do not support fossil fuel expansions. Our lives and our nations' futures depend on this commitment.
We, the children from across the globe, collectively sign and affirm our commitment to the above calls to action. We voice our hopes, concerns, and aspirations in unity, trusting in the power of collective action to usher in the change we wish to see.
Meanwhile, Climate Clock Group, a worldwide climate movement, have lauded Kenya for passing the climate change bill into an act. The group called on countries to increase investments in indigenous innovation and also implement the resolution that will be passed during the Africa Climate Summit 2023.
We're also demanding that we have a just transition to renewable energy on the continent. We want more countries to transition from fossil fuel, and let's have a just transition to renewable energy.
We stand in solidarity with the African Climate Summit theme, driving green growth and finance solutions for Africa and the world. As we all know, Africa has borne the brunt of climate injustice despite contributing to the least to this very crisis we are in.
The clock urges governments, corporations, and people in power to act in time for the climate crisis. It exhibits a deadline, counting down the time remaining to prevent global warming from rising above 1.5 degrees Celsius and 5 lifelines.
In the meantime, Interreligious Council leaders have called for action to mitigate the growing crisis caused by climate change in Africa and the adverse effects it has had on communities.
We stand by the principles of climate justice, human rights, gender equality, and intergenerational equity in all climate policies and actions.
We recognize that different countries and groups of people have different needs.
The developed world has really contributed much in the pollution of the air.
Timothy Kipnusu for Legends Edition.